What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz here with another Mega Man X Dive video. Today we'll be in Jacob's Orbital Elevator taking on challenge floors 6 through 10. So without further ado, let's get into these floors. So first up is going to be floor number 6. This has a augmentation for bazooka damage, or launcher damage as it's called in this game. I'm going to be using Palette again up first. This is a bit out of order because I forgot to show everything on Palette prior to doing the stage, so she has 2 energy rather than 3, but that's just because I showed this portion prior to doing after doing the stage with Palette. Now, just like the last floor, I'm going to be trying to abuse Palette's ion gun by jumping in the air and not having to deal with the recoil afterwards. I do get a bit sloppy on this run. I do take quite a bit more damage than I would like, so I end up needing Bat on this one. You can do this without Bat, but you just have to play a little bit less haphazardly than I do. Other than that, this floor isn't anything interesting. Just take out the enemies as they appear, and you should be good. I'm using the 4-star cannon, or I'm sorry, the cannon you get from beating the B-blader, I believe, and the light wave cannon, which is available for free as well. Now the next floor, floor 7, has augmented damage when using sprayers, so just like last time I'll be using Palette once again. However, I will be switching my weapons to the snow spray and the burning spray weapons. I'll be using the Sting Chameleon chip and the Mao the Giant chips along with this one. Same loadouts otherwise for Palette. Now this one I make a few blunders as well. What I try to do is try to spam Palette's abilities in the air to try to maintain my hang time. However, I do mess it up a little bit, so I end up taking quite a bit of extra damage when I don't need to be taking the damage, as you'll see here in a little bit. I also try to get greedy and not use the ride armor. However, using the ride armor makes the stage incredibly easy. But I was just trying to see if I could do it without the ride armor. But because I was not able to properly dodge and use my abilities in a way that lets me maintain my hang time, I had to grab the ride armor just before I ended up dying with Palette on the stage. However, I did end up passing the stage anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal in the end. Now right around here is where I make the decision to get into the ride armor, because I am in danger if I do not get into the ride armor. Part of the reason I wanted to go as far as I could without using the ride armor is just to kind of preserve some health on it if I really needed to get into it. And right here you're going to see me do a lot of dash jumps with the ride armor just because it's a little bit faster for me to get to the other side of the arena. And what I'm going to try to do is line up the enemies so I can get the straight line punch in order to KO as many enemies as possible. I also make use of the rockets as well because they have quite a big air effect and can take out multiple enemies. But after I get in the ride armor, it's pretty much smooth sailing. However, you can see my ride armor is at about just above half health or so. So that's why I wanted to try to delay getting into the ride armor as long as I possibly could. Alright, so floor 8 is actually extremely free if you have built up X like I have. If you saw my X character overview video, you might have built him up, or maybe just had X built up already. Augmented buster damage along with X was Buster Mastery, and his cards are available in the shop. So we're bringing my decked out X, and this stage is basically going to be a cakewalk. For chips, I have the Destruction Warhead, so that lowers defense to amplify my damage even more, and I have the Charge Shot as well. I'm going to add a third card here, just any yellow card, it doesn't have to have a skill, just so that it triggers my two other cards on X. Now once a stage starts, you're going to notice that a B-Blader spawns in. This is going to be one of those stages where you simply have to deal with a mini-boss, so it's extremely easy. Especially because I'm using Busters, I have Buster Mastery. There isn't really much to say about the stage other than just pummel the B-Blader. And this stage is actually one of the stages you can do if you're running low on time and you just need to beat a random challenge stage, because it's really, really simple. Now this next stage, stage 9, you could do this with Zero as well. However, I'm using Zero Z from Mega Man Zero series. You can use Zero from the X series, or just as good if he's at 2-star. But I'm using Zero Z because he is, well, he's a free unit that we just got. However, he also has a passive at 4 stars. You may not have him at 4 stars, but I opted to bring mine because I have this at 4 stars and I have my regular Zero at 3 stars. So that means I don't have melee mastery, which increases the damage you have or you deal when equipping a melee weapon. However, one of Zero Z's cards does that for me, so that's why I wanted to bring him. On top of the Bat card, Zero's 4th passive is called Lifesteal, and then what that's going to do is it gives you a chance to restore quite a bit of HP when you're using your Zero Knuckle. Zero Knuckle is a very strong move, so we're going to try to abuse that where we can here. It doesn't proc that often, but you're going to see when it does, I restore quite a bit of HP as opposed to just relying on my Bat card. Now starting out, I go to the left-hand side first, just because that's closer to me. I use Zero's Shield Boomerang just to take out the first enemy because 2 hits will take it out. And we're using the Standard Saber a lot here because the Standard Saber has a passive that lowers the defense of enemies it hits, so that's good to have. And the Triangle Saber, because Triangle Saber is free and it's really, really good. Now right here, I walk into one of the spheres, which is really, really unfortunate, but sometimes they spawn in on top of me in this stage, which you'll see later on as well. Now, right there, I just got a heal, but that was for my Bat. As you can see, that was about 1200 or so. And there's another heal I get here, which is a lot more than 1200. I don't remember when it happened though, or maybe it already happened. But as long as you're clearing out the orbs here, you should be okay, because then you can reach the soldiers, no problem. But that's also why I want right here. Here's where the orbs spawn on me. That's why I wanted to have the Shield Boomerang, so I can just kind of throw it at him and kind of forget it. But what I wanted to mention was the Mega Scorpio chip on my Saber is really, really helpful here, because it allows you to get damage in areas of the map where you're not standing, which is really, really nice. So if you slash once, it'll leave behind that like little electric shockwave effect, which will constantly damage the other orbs, which counts as slash damage because it's from a melee weapon, which is nice. And that's it for this floor. And now for the last floor in this video, there is an augmentation on machine gun damage, so we're going to bring Axel and the Gatling gun. I'm just bringing Axel just because, actually I don't know why I had to bring Axel. He doesn't get any augmentation on Gatling gun damage. His secondary passive on his cards gets a mitigation when he has Gatling gun, but other than that, I guess I just kind of wanted to bring Axel. If you abuse his role, you can get a shield here, which is kind of nice. If I used it more, it would have been very helpful. Unfortunately, I didn't, but I do get the effective tactical reinforcements, which is really nice as well. Now, I just bring the Gatling gun. My other weapon, honestly, doesn't even matter, so I just kind of leave it as whatever, because I'm only going to be using the Gatling gun. Now, as I explained in the last video, the bosses in this aren't actually that difficult. What makes the bosses difficult is the fact that they spawn weenie enemies. As you can see, I'm already down to like half HP just because of the wheel enemies spawning on top of me. Like as long as the giant mechaloid isn't jumping around, he doesn't spawn the wheels, which is nice. So I'm just gonna kind of follow him around, shoot him a little bit, and it's gonna be more the same of that for most of this run. If he's in the, if I can get I forgot what it's called, strafing barrage off, I will go for that almost every time. I should have used the roll more because, like I said, the roll gives you a shield and it allows you to get the effect of tactical reinforcement, but I didn't abuse it all that much. I was still able to pass this run pretty easily. Now, the downside with this is because my HP was getting rather low, I started trying to play a bit safer towards the end, and because of that, I wasn't as aggressive as I could have been, so it did take me a bit longer than I would have liked to beat the giant mechanoid, but at worst case scenario, I figure I just have to use maybe another character to do this, but I didn't have to end up doing that in the end. And you can see the range of the Gatling gun is long enough so I can even hit the giant mechanoid from down here where it's safe so that the enemies don't spawn on top of me. But if I'm down here, that means I cannot get the effect, or I can't strafing barrage the enemy because I have to hit the head. So I have to go back up to the higher areas to strafing barrage it. And strafing barrage does do a good chunk of its HP, even without the tactical reinforcement buff. Does about half a bar of HP each time. So ideally, if you're using Axel for this, you're making use of the tactical reinforcement buff. Otherwise, you'll be losing on a bit of damage. It might take you longer, but you can get through this pretty easily. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. We've cleared floors 6 through 10, so next time we'll be going for 11 through 15. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It shows that you're really enjoying the content and it helps the channel grow. Now, by the time this video goes up, it'll probably be Tuesday, and on Wednesday we're going to have the Dye Festival banner for Iris. I'll probably be streaming my polls for that. If anyone wants to come through, all my social media will be down below in the description so you know where to find me. Anyway, later.